Welcome back to Shifting Inside Out. How did your planning go with your fuel eating practices? That is where 90% of your eating focus should go. Now let's talk about the other 10%, celebration eating. Celebration eating is just that, pure and simple celebration. Celebration eating includes anything that just tastes wonderful but doesn't do anything for your body. These foods are designed for pleasure, not for nourishment. They are one of the joys of life, and your body can handle them in small doses. Celebration eating is one of the things in life that brings us joy. I have nothing against this if it's done 10% of the time. When we are celebration eating more than 10%, we need to ask ourselves, am I getting too much of my joy in life from food? Ask yourself, how much of your total joy comes from food and eating? Pay attention to your answer. If your answer is a high percentage, it's no wonder you don't want to cut back on eating. It would mean reducing a high percentage of your joy from life. Ouch! The solution is to add more joy into your life that has nothing to do with eating. Make a list of the things you enjoy. Add more of these things to each day. Here's a summary of this concept. Of all the food you eat, 10% of it should be celebration eating. Of all the joy in your life, less than 20% should be from food. When you do this, you'll be adding a lot more joy to your life and a lot more fuel to your body. Overeating can be a distant memory. Here are some preliminary tips for making celebration eating a powerful tool in your journey. You must enjoy it. Sit down and savor it. The minute you stop enjoying it, stop eating. If you aren't enjoying it, there is no reason it should be in your mouth. Some clients find that they can get a full sense of joy from food in just a few bites when they really pay attention. And sometimes they find that they didn't enjoy it as much as they thought they would. As soon as you give yourself permission to eat something, and the only requirement is that you enjoy it, you lose all of the emotional charge of eating a bad food. And sometimes that was the whole reason for eating it. You can use planned celebration eating to ramp up the effectiveness of this tool. You can begin by planning celebration eating once a week with one food. With this, you will learn how to eat sugar, flour, and other poor quality food in a way that is manageable. Here are the guidelines for planned celebration eating. Pick one food that you would normally forbid yourself. Plan to eat it at least 24 hours in advance. Plan ahead and be specific. By doing this, you use your prefrontal cortex and consciousness to help retrain your habit brain. I recommend never eating celebration foods in a reactive way. This comes from your habit brain, and this only increases the strength of the unconscious neural pathways that are coming from old habit brain paths. This takes practice, but it's worth every ounce of effort you put into it. It is more difficult to do in social situations, but making an attempt to pay attention and taste the food is still very important. By planning celebration eating from time to time, you get to experience the intense pleasure and the consequence of what it's like to eat foods your body wasn't designed to process. Planned celebration eating 10% of the time can be very educational and useful to the weight loss process. It helps create new relationships with yourself and with food. Let me know what you learned from this type of eating. The more you practice and experience, the more you are shifting inside out. In our next video, we'll talk about unconscious eating and storm eating.